Hey Oleg, can you hear okay?
Hey guys, good to be here.
Cool. Right. Looks like we've got plenty of people rolling in. Happy to start. So hey everyone, I'm Josh. I'm one of the Wormhole Community managers. Today I'm really excited to be joined by Anthony and Oleg. Can you guys go and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I'm Anthony. I work at Jump Crypto, and I'm a core contributor to the Wormhole project. So I'm happy to be here with Oleg and Josh, and have you guys all here.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Josh. Hi, I'm Oleg. I'm a co-founder of Sweatcoin in 2015, and now I'm leading our Web3 effort, Sweat Economy, and of course, Sweat, the token. Really, really good to be here and talk about our partnership with Wormhole team.
Yeah, I mean it's the title of the Twitter space is Sweat Economy Goes Cross-Chain, right? And I can't really wait to hear about all of this. To kick it off, Oleg, what is your background? And also, like, do your team have a background in crypto? Do you yourself have a background in crypto?
Thank you. Very, very good question. Well, my background is business, really. I'm probably a lot older than most people on this call. I started working in the 90s and been doing various different things, working in the industry, in fast-moving consumer industries, and in consulting as well until I got my British passport, which was my ticket to actually become an entrepreneur, because before then it was very, very difficult to get, to start businesses, become a director and get loans. And ever since, I've been starting businesses and kind of scaling them. Before Sweatcoin and Sweat, I had a music streaming business called Bloom FM in the UK, which unfortunately perished in 2014, which thankfully kind of been a trigger for me going for a run, feeling rather sorry for myself, meeting my co-founder in Sweatcoin, starting to talk about health, fitness, and ultimately resulting in us starting Sweatcoin in 2015. As name suggests, we were thinking already about blockchain back then. My first encounter with Bitcoin was in 2011. I run a BTC guild. If somebody remembers those, kind of days, that was the first ever sort of pool mining software. I run it on my laptop, and believe it or not, even sort of my old laptop in the corner was able to contribute back then to hash rate, and I made some Bitcoin, which of course, given that the price was less than $1, I sort of threw away because it wasn't even paying for the electricity that went into that laptop. But it was a very interesting experience, and it stuck with me, and I, kind of been engaged and, very much in favor of this, especially technology, ever since. So we wanted to be on blockchain in 2015, but we couldn't because there was only one blockchain back then called Bitcoin, and we couldn't build on it. We've spoken to Vitalik in early 2016, but Ethereum back then was research grade, and we were not confident that we should be sort of putting all eggs in that basket. And with benefit of hindsight, it was a very wise decision because by early 2017, we were processing more than a few hundred transactions per second, which is like 20x the theoretical throughput of Ethereum. So we would have spent a lot more time, a lot more money, a lot more effort, and either we would have been dead together with Ethereum, or something terrible would have happened to kind of to our project. And until last year, when we finally found a technology that was fast enough and the team that had a perfect match for us, which is near, we couldn't really make a shift. And right now we are here. The team is more than 100 people. Out of that, we have about a dozen that have a very, very extensive Web3 experience. And we surrounded ourselves by a very, very good group of advisors and investors who've been in crypto probably in aggregate for more than 100 years. And we're blessed to have a lot of expertise accessible to us, either immediately in the office or on a short dial. Sorry, very long-winded answer, but yes, we have both.
Okay, fascinating background. I mean, it seems like you're a bit of an OG in the Web3 space, but also just super experienced in business in general, as you said. You had a music business, but then I guess the silver lining is you went out and started running more, and came up with the whole thing around sweat economy. So can I just get you to explain what is sweat economy, and also how does sweat coin and sweat wallet fit in around that?
Wow, big question. So when we started Sweatcoin in 2015, we did it with an objective of making the world more physically active. Why did we think technology could help with this? Is very simply because we realized the reason why people are not able to be as active as they want to be. Kind of everyone is sort of complaining, oh, I wish I had enough money or time or energy or motivation or whatever, insert your excuse to go to a gym or go for a run. And if you talk to somebody who is sort of running a marathon and training for it, they still want to train more. And somebody who is depressed with a bottle of beer in front of TV, they also want to be more physically active. And when you have a situation that everyone's got exactly the same problem, then you know that there has got to be a very, very simple explanation. And the explanation turned out to be that nature does not want you to be active. Nature did not build us to be active. Nature built us to survive, which means you need to preserve calories rather than spending them. So, because we were built for the times of scarcity, the calories were really, really hard to come by. So unless there was food somewhere in the vicinity, or you were about to become somebody else's food, then you would just sit around the fire and preserve those calories. That's exactly what we still do, because nature built into us this sort of behavioral feature, or right now it is a behavioral bug called present bias. We're focusing on right here, right now, either benefit or avoiding death. And there is only one way of solving the problem of present bias, and it's called instant gratification. So we set out to basically create instant gratification for the most basic, smallest unit of physical activity, which is step. And what is the basic type of reward that you can imagine? Money or some financial reward. So we decided that we're going to create a unit of currency called Sweatcoin that is effectively an expression of your value of physical activity. We developed an MVP, minimum viable product, and all of a sudden it got really, really good engagement and very good feedback. And then we launched it, and the rest is history. We have more than 120 million people using it right now. As I mentioned earlier, we already at the beginning wanted for Sweatcoin or for our token to be a crypto token, but we just couldn't do it because there was no blockchain technology fast enough, robust enough to support our scale and our growth. And this is why when we arrived to realization that finally this technology exists, we ended up, instead of trying to shift Sweatcoin onto blockchain, which is extremely difficult, already having 120 million people, the rules of engagement already well established, everyone's got a clear understanding of how it works, and also some countries being excluded from kind of crypto, such as United States and China, we realized that we couldn't simply shift rails of Sweatcoin, but needed to create a second currency parallel to Sweatcoin, effectively creating a two-currency economy. Sweatcoin is centralized, inflationary, and has utility only inside Sweatcoin app, which is our health and fitness sort of entry point, and Sweat, the token, which is generated with your first 5,000 steps every day. And it is crypto, so it is decentralized. It is over time going to become deflationary, and it is completely open and has utility anywhere where there is crypto accepted. and sorry, to finish it off, and all of this and the creation of crypto is again to fulfill our mission of making the world more physically active, because being rewarded with crypto that is decentralized, deflationary, and completely open and traded is extremely attractive and makes a lot of people around the world very, very active.
What I love about Sweatcoin is that I think in the world of crypto, especially as we're kind of in a bear market now, as everyone knows, it's made to solve this user onboarding like problem, right? Like it's a truly consumer facing app that can play kind of a critical role in onboarding the next wave of users because you're just using the app. It's something that you would use anyway, and it happens to be crypto, right? That's the opposite of almost everything that I've seen in crypto, right? Most things are very obviously crypto, and then you kind of use it to get the rewards, right? Now, like Sweat, I think is just something that has existed for years, has a proven model before it even got into crypto, and then now it's kind of expanding into this world. So the kind of possibilities this unlocks as you guys like kind of get started and launch and get going, and you have kind of this pretty big roadmap ahead of you. Like as I was checking out kind of everything you guys are doing on your website that's available, I think it's one of these apps that can be like kind of the red pill to get people to come into crypto and just kind of start using it as part of their daily life. So I think you also remember one other thing I wanted before we move on to like maybe talking about a multi-chain world and kind of where Sweatcoin goes from here. You mentioned you guys had like a funny story of how it got named. I wonder if you could share that, Oleg, just like the name Sweatcoin, where it comes from. Now we're moving to Sweat Economy. I would love to hear just a bit more about that.
Thanks for that commentary and a very good question. It does send me back. Kind of me and my co-founder Anton, kind of when we started thinking about it, we very quickly realized that it has to be coin because we want to have a currency, and we wanted it to be not a dollar or pound or whatever, but we wanted it to be a new currency that will effectively be an expression of the value of your physical activity, because your physical activity has non-zero value definitively. And that meant a new currency, it meant a new coin. And we of course experimented with sort of obvious things that immediately pop up, which is like Fitcoin and Stepcoin, and they were pretty good, and sort of people were nodding. But the most interesting thing was that kind of they were not really engaging. As soon as this sweat coin popped up, and it was a bit of a joke in the first instance, but as soon as we mentioned it, the beauty of it was extremely polarizing. People were either kind of smiling and going like, yeah, I really like the name, or they were kind of going, no, this is really crap. Kind of this is about sort of stinky t-shirts and, kind of, no, you got to rebrand. And we very quickly understood that, there is a beauty in something that polarizes. If things are like Marmite, you either love it or hate it, it's actually a strength rather than weakness. It also helped us tremendously in early days, because if somebody was saying, oh, no, guys, would you consider rebranding? We knew that we need to cut conversation. There is no chance that there would be partnership there. There is no chance that there would be an investment from them. There is no chance that they would be interested in joining us. We just basically figured out a shortcut on how to arrive to know and prevent time wasting, literally in just few sentences. So we really latched on it, and it's also turned out to be a heck of a lot easier to register. Kind of nobody had this idea. There was absolutely nothing like this kind of in existence. So it was great name that had very good reception, and we had very, very easy time registering it, finding domains, etc., etc.
That's awesome. That name like has always just like jumped out to me. Like, I was a user of Sweat before, I think we started working together on everything kind of Sweatcoin going cross chain. So I just love that. I think that's so cool. So, as we kind of like shift now and think about the future for Sweatcoin, Sweat Economy. I think for a quick second to talk about Wormhole here. Wormhole is meant to solve this problem of something like Sweat that exists today, where Sweat is on one blockchain, and Near is awesome. Like it's one of our connected networks, and it's one that like we were excited to build with immediately. But Wormhole believes in kind of like a cross-chain future, right? It believes that all chains should be kind of like meant to serve the app, the user experience, and kind of what happens here. So, there's many different ways this can happen, but the most immediate way, and the way that today that Sweatcoin and Wormhole, kind of work together right now, is that Sweat's token is wrapped via Wormhole and then made available on Ethereum as an ERC20 that's now traded on most centralized exchanges and then also available on Uniswap and other places. So the powerful thing too is that if a user has Sweat on Near, but on any other of the Wormhole connected chains, they can move the Sweat. They can move Sweat to Near or to ETH or whatever in any direction in any path, and it doesn't matter. The token never double wraps. And this is the kind of utility you want to see in a world where like blockchains become fungible, where you can kind of move around on different chains and you can kind of like experience all the different things that are going on in crypto. And this powers Sweatcoin, I think, or sorry, Sweat economy. I apologize for like constantly mixing that up. But anyway, it's the kind of thing that can make that a truly like, kind of omni-chain, whatever app, right? It just kind of exists everywhere and every user gets to interact with it, as they go. So, Oleg, I wonder if you could talk a bit about kind of the plans for Sweat to exist as a app that, is kind of on many blockchains to reach more users, to kind of just make this like something that onboards like a lot of users in the most easy, frictionless way it can.
Brilliant. Very, very cool question. But you know what? I'm actually going to start like a couple of steps back and talk about Anthony and the rest of the Wormhole team, who are absolutely brilliant as a partner. Because as we were marching towards our TGE, there was an unexpected pull from a lot of exchanges all around the world. And some of them were not yet integrated with Near and NEP 141, which is Near's non-fungible token standard. And they wanted to list us, but only if we had an ERC20 token. And believe it or not, there aren't that many bridges who are in production, who've been tested and have been audited that basically could bridge from Near to Ethereum. And the rare exception is Wormhole, and Wormhole team was absolutely incredible. The guys didn't pull any punches and really sped up the development work to hit our deadlines, so that 1 week before TGE we could actually bridge some Sweat from NEP 141 to ERC20, and so that we could provide liquidity to the exchanges that could not and did not manage to integrate with Near, before the 12th of September. So thank you guys. It was really, really kind of spot on, the type of help that projects really need in early days. And, when it comes to plans, already having an ERC20 token, we've already bridged and tried our, pushing our token in BSC, BNB, Solana, Polygon, and we know it works. We've already seen it working, and it's all there. And basically, our plan is to make sure that we are working with primitives, dApps, and metaverses, game projects, etc., on other chains that are interested in attracting hundreds of thousands or millions of users. Because having this partnership with Wormhole, or Wormhole being our iconic bridge, basically allows us to build functionality that, or a dApp that resides on a completely different L1 or layer 1 blockchain into our mobile app. We can obscure all of this complexity of going through bridging interfaces, etc., and give you the experience in just few clicks without you even having to realize that you are already on, Polygon, on Ethereum, on BNB, or on Solana. And we're really, really excited because we believe that in order for us to bring another billion people into Web3, we need to solve two questions. Question one is UX, making it a lot easier. And question two is reducing the financial barrier or necessity of putting a lot of money up front into learning the ropes and getting engaged into Web3. This is why this partnership is so valuable to us.
Yeah, I think we sort of touched on it earlier. I think sweat economy is a brilliant way of sort of bringing on that next generation of Web3 users without almost forcing it down their throat. You know, it's a really fun and also healthy application, but at the same sense, with the partnership with Wormhole, it's really, you know, frictionless, bringing people from retail onto Web3. I also kind of want to bring us almost looking into the future a tiny bit. Where is Sweat Economy on their roadmap? And, you know, what exciting news is there coming up soon that you guys would like to share?
Very good question.
We're looking for some alpha, Oleg. You know, it's basically the you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, kind of where attendance of an AMA makes you money. So yeah, let me talk a little bit about long term, and then talk about the sort of immediate stuff that we're going to be dropping into our community literally within the next hour. But you know, probably the first time that somebody outside of our organization will hear it is here. So the longer term stuff that I'm very excited about is the NFT game that is coming into Sweat Economy. But don't worry, it's not going to be the the NFT game that you're probably familiar with, that you first need to pay $1,000 and then you hope to you're trying to earn your money back. No, we're not going to be having pay to play mechanic. Everyone will be able to claim their seed NFT, and it's going to be dynamic, and it is going to allow you to develop your own sort of personality and expression of yourself in Sweat Economy, because it is going to evolve in chain depending on your off-chain activity, so your physical activity, the time of the day, the intensity, the speed, etc. Then your on-app activity, so engagement with our Sweat Wallet mobile app and your activity there, and then of course on-chain activity as well. So over time, the those NFTs are going to become very, very unique and very different from sort of anybody else. And of course, there will be some game mechanics around it. There will be super casual game that allow you to sort of train your NFT and develop it faster. So really, really exciting mechanism where NFT is effectively an engagement tool rather than a barrier to earning more tokens. So this is coming in the next few weeks, probably a couple of months. It is a very, very new thing and the cutting edge, because there aren't any projects out there that actually have developed something this complex and also this beautiful. This is done in a partnership with Concept Art House. If any of you know, these guys are very, very experienced in developing some absolutely beautiful work. Then other things that I am very excited about is learn and earn. I'm very excited about swapping functionality that we're going to be bringing into our app, most likely in partnership with Wormhole. So I'm looking forward to this. And there is a lot more that will be coming, probably in the next 2 to 3 years. But in terms of short term and that alpha that Anthony was referring to, we are listening to our community and you guys very, very carefully. And what we've heard over the last, kind of week and a half to 2 is that, our emissions or inflation is significant, and that you would like us to find ways of putting tighter control onto it. We've identified a number of levers that we are going to deploy. And in the next couple of days, we are going to be deploying lever number 1, which is linked to what we call minting difficulty. You know that every next sweat requires more steps from you to mint. And at the moment, after 3 weeks from launch, you need about 1,078 steps. And on the 12th of September, it was 1,000 steps. Now, what we see is an opportunity to, increase this minting difficulty and make it go up slightly faster. What is going to result out of it is that inflation in overall circulating supply is going to significantly reduce. So we will be making 400%, so 4x increase in the slope of the minting difficulty line, and we're going to be deploying this into smart contract on Monday or Tuesday next week. And you're the first guys to hear this. And of course, the reason why we're doing this is to make sure that we are putting tighter reins on circulating supply and making sweat economy more sustainable and future-proof.
I love this because I just think it shows that you guys are just paying, very close attention to the community and what's happening on the ground, and thinking about the long term of Sweat, right? Like there's these kinds of projects are, ones that I think, like in crypto, we're speed running through everything, and I think like paying very close attention to what happens and user feedback and building a community that way is the key. So that's very, very cool. So thank you for sharing that, Oleg.
As a community person as well, I really, really like that point. And you slightly touched on the learning aspect of it as well. Not only teaching people how to live a healthy life through the application, but also with the usability of bringing people into Web3, teaching people about Web3 as well. Amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is our mission to make 1 billion people more active and engaged into Web3, because we feel that, physical activity has value and is going to make people happier, more productive, and they will live longer. But also we're going to get them financially literate, because we all know that Web3 and crypto is the future of your personal finance. And the earlier we engage people, the earlier they understand the tools and the instruments and the terminology, I think the faster the world is going to sort of move and become Web3 native.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could talk to you all day about this stuff. It's some really interesting things you're talking about. But I'd love to get an opportunity for the audience to ask you some questions as well. I think we have a few requested people in the audience, but if there's any other questions, please just raise your hand and ask a question to either the people from Wormhole, me and Anthony, or to Oleg. All right, I'll get someone up on the stage. Hi, O2, can you speak? No, it's just dropped off. 1 second.
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I just want to ask if the team is aware about people who can use spoofing to mint free tokens, just like Pokemon Go. Does the team have any plan to address this?
I'm pretty confident that you are talking about making an assumption as opposed to knowing that they can spoof. We spent last 7 years developing the best movement verification tech. What you are talking about is probably that your phone thinks that you're walking, but I can guarantee you that those steps are not going to generate sweat or sweat coin for you.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Yeah, a lot of other projects we know don't pay enough attention to it, but we've been paranoid about it since 2015. So trust me, some of the sort of best people we have in the company are looking at this non-stop, and our movement verification, and it is a very, 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 very sophisticated system. Just to give you confidence as well, we think about it not only from the kind of verification model, but we also think about it from the architecture standpoint. So that there is a cap how much you can earn per day. So even if you were able to develop some elaborate shaking pattern that our model wouldn't pick up, then you would only be able to earn very, very little. So in order to make financial sense out of it, you need to scale it horizontally and basically run it on a number of accounts. And as soon as you do that, that is immediately getting picked up because that is a repetitive pattern that, you know, you scale horizontally. So that immediately is killed. So, you know, it's, you know, there's a lot of thinking that's been done over 7 years to make sure that even if there is some gaming happening, it is negligible and tiny.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're going to get Simon up now. Any other people in the audience, if you want to just ask any questions, please raise your hand. Simon, you're on the stage. One sec.
Hello. Yes, this is Simon.
Hey.
Yes.
Have you got a question?
I joined the sweat economy in April, but my challenge was after the TGE, my application, my wallet opened, but I could not stake or I could not send for all this time ever since the TGE finished. But then when I tried to uninstall and install it again, I failed to log in again. But then they reset it, and now my balance is 0. Yet I was at around 7,750. So I don't know exactly how you people are approaching this issue about the wallet. Please, I request that you talk about it, because right now it shows me that I have 0, yet I've been active for 5 months. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry to hear this, Simon. So basically, what happened was that, you know, kind of why didn't you manage to log in with your first wallet?
I logged in the first time, but I could not send or I could not stake. So I just kept the app and I continued moving.
Then you haven't logged in. Because if you logged in, you know, it sounds like there was an issue with the, you know, kind of with you logging in. If you provide me, you know, ping me on Twitter,
okay,
with your username, and
yes,
I'll dig into your account and I'll check exactly what happened there. I can tell you that what typically happened in situations like this is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, guys, I had a call coming in. So typically, what happened was that people lost the email that they received that contained the key. They couldn't log in, and after TG. Sorry.
Me, I didn't
just 1
lose.
second.
I have
Give
my
me
email.
literally
I
1
have
second.
my code with me.
Perfect. Then you know what? Send me in Twitter your Sweatcoin username. I'll dig into it, and I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it. If you have your emails,
thank you
then
so much.
you know we'll sort it out.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Simon. And we have time for just one more question. So we're going to bring up Machel. Machel, you're on the stage.
Everyone. 2 questions. Seeing if I've been here for the inception of the conversation. I am all the way from Trinidad as well, so definitely I believe in the sweat economy, even though I just joined it last week. And I was able to actually to stake, because you know after the first 5,000 steps, anything after that will be turned into mint, and then the amount now will be added to your sweat wallet. Now, what I want to find out is when would we be able to as the app is now, could we be able to send or receive cryptocurrency where that is concerned? And the fact that we join in Wormhole now, will be partnership with them. Is it that it will give us the how I should say, boy, the little avenue to get into the Web3 forum? How does that work?
Thank you. I'm not entirely certain I understood, kind of everything, but so you said that you staking and you're wondering if you can send and receive. Absolutely. In Sweat Wallet, the top left button is transfers. It allows you to send and receive your Sweat already right now. And you have a near wallet. So in fact, you can send and receive any near or NEP 1-for-1 token. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're not showing it to you in Sweat Wallet, but it works nonetheless. With the help of Wormhole and through this partnership, we are going to become a multi-chain and of course multi-token wallet in a reasonably short period of time, and you should be able to receive any crypto asset and send any crypto asset to other addresses pretty soon. I am not going to commit myself to a specific date. Well, technological development is unfortunately not lending itself very well to this.
All right, thanks for your question, Michelle. I think we've heard enough alpha from Oleg today. Is there anything else that you just want to touch on before we wrap up here, Oleg?
Yes, actually, I want to say a couple of things. One is, if there are any aspiring entrepreneurs here, please do kind of work on ideas and stuff that is not necessarily only money related as a use case, but think of what else Web3, blockchain, and crypto can do. Like, for example, our use case where we're making the world more physically active. Because if we are to bring in next billion people, we need to start thinking about, kind of things beyond complex financial derivative products that frankly have a very, very limited appeal in the world because people are struggling with liquidity as opposed to have excess liquidity to put into obscure, risky financial products. And another point that I wanted to make is, well, just keep sweating, put one foot in front of another, and we will be right there for you, making you more active and also financial literate. It's been an absolute pleasure being here, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. As you said, it's really good to see a product with actual real world use case. Anthony, do you have any closing comments still?
Honestly, just really happy to be working with Oleg and the Sweat Economy team. I love those closing remarks, and I think it's pretty remarkable. You think about it, like they could have been just hanging out with Sweatcoin, the app, and they were fine. They had 120 million users, but they decided to take this journey into Web3 where it's hard and unknown, and they're iterating, they're responding to community feedback, and I think this is one of these apps that I'm pretty confident is going to be a multi-chain, like kind of like one of these apps that we're talking about for many years. So I'm very excited to work with you guys. So thank you for joining and taking the time, and every listener, thank you guys for popping on. There's a lot of these, so thanks for spending your time with us.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks Anthony, Oleg for joining. Go and check out Sweat Economy on their Twitter and their Discord, and also check out Wormhole in the same places. And see you next time.
Thank you, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.